In today's video, I'll be talking about some key things that you should consider to help you determine when you should buy a house. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, what's up? I'm Ariana Gray, your Jacksonville real estate professional. I specialize in working with buyers in new construction, sellers going through divorce, first-time investors, and those who are relocating. Welcome to my channel. A lot of potential buyers, especially first-timers, are asking that age-old question, when should I buy a house? And a lot of times when they ask that question, at least right now, the response is, just wait for the interest rates to drop. Oh, the market does this all the time. This is how they balance things out. While this is true, interest rates are only one slice of the pie. So today I want to talk to you guys about some other things that you should be considering to help you make your decision. But before we get into it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you can get all the deets on Jacksonville real estate. Obviously, purchasing a home is a huge investment and likely the first big investment that you will make in your lifetime. We're talking 6 figures just to have a roof over your head, okay? Some people don't even see that in a year. But my point being is you need to assess where you are in life. Are you fresh out of school? Do you have a career? Are you making good money? Do you have debts that need to be paid off or paid down first? Do you have ample savings? And not just savings for your down payment, but do you also have enough money to back you up if what I like to call home ownership mishaps happen after you purchase your home? Because they're gonna happen. You need to be asking yourself a series of questions because home ownership, number one, is no joke. But number two, it's going to require some level of financial stability. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'll go ahead and drive the point home again. When you're buying a house, you need to be prepared to come out of pocket with the following, okay? Your binder deposit, your home inspection fees, your down payment, and your closing cost. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, baby, these are not cheap. So you need to have it in the bank. So know where you stand financially. I always recommend talking to a lender to help you figure this out so you can make a decision. And the reason I do that is because a lender can do one of two things. They can do a soft credit pull and figure out just from some basic information that you provide what kind of house you'd be able to afford as far as price, and this would be considered a pre-qualification. Or they can do a hard credit pull and they can actually look at your debts versus your income and come up with a debt to income ratio and then give you an actual loan amount for what you would be able to afford in a home. And now this is a pre-approval. A lot of people freak out when they hear pre-qualification or pre-approval. And I think that comes from a space of not knowing or not fully understanding, maybe even assuming that you can't really put the toothpaste back in the tube once you've gotten the process started. But the truth of the matter is, no one can tell you what to do from that point. Once you've gotten those numbers back, it's you and only you who can decide whether you want to move forward with that process or not. If you opt not to at that time, just know that you do risk having a different interest rate and your loan amount changing. As you're considering your financials, you also want to think about your job or career and the longevity that you're going to have in that city. So this career or this job, is this a long-term gig? Do you have job security? Are you going to be relocated within X amount of years? Is that how your company works? Are you switching or planning to switch jobs or careers? These are things that you need to figure out because for salaried employees, you're going to need to have at least 2 years within the same field of work to qualify for a loan. And this is just showing the lender that there's some consistency and predictability with your income. So if you're bouncing around to different jobs or you don't have an established career or you're switching careers or planning to switch careers, then you may want to weigh some other options. If there's a possibility of you being relocated for work, then you may also want to weigh some other options. It may make sense for you to just continue renting until you're at a place where you're more settled. Depending on the situation, it could make more sense for you to buy and then rent out or sell when it comes time for you to relocate. Of course, if you were to do that, you're adding on another layer of the financial puzzle that you're going to have to figure out. If either of these things are uncertain for you, whether that be your career or the longevity in the city, then like what are we even doing? What are we even talking about? Go ahead and put this conversation on the back burner until a time where you have a little more clarity on your situation and what's going on with your life. Let's say you go through the pre-approval process and you're starting to find out how much you can afford based off of your debts and your income, but the numbers don't really pan out the way that you'd hope. Then what? Well, I would say ask yourself if you're okay with pivoting the plan. So for example, let's just say you were hoping that you could afford $350,000 and this would get you a 3-bedroom, a 2-bathroom, and a 2-car garage. But instead, you only can afford $275,000, and this will still get you a single-family residence, but it may be older, smaller, in a different part of town, or even attached like a condo or a townhouse. You need to ask yourself, are you comfortable with this, and are you okay with doing something different so you can at least build equity and take advantage of the increasing home values in your area? Or does the thought of that completely discourage you and make you want to take a step back to reevaluate some things? You have to know where you stand in this scenario. A lot of buyers default to the latter. They become discouraged. They want nothing to do with the home buying process. Let's just put everything on hold. I want to wait for interest rates to go down. I want to be able to afford more house. And we get that as agents. We really do. Because buying a house is an emotionally charged situation. You know, you're seeing the potential that this house can be or provide for you and your family. But it's important to note that the average person will purchase a home 3 times over their lifetime. 3. So while the first home purchase is a very big deal, it's very exciting, you also need to remember you probably will not be in that home for the life of the loan. So it's okay to pivot. And honestly, sometimes the backup plan is better than the original plan. And that is on personal experience, okay? Period. Obtaining equity in real estate is a long game, and you have to know how to play it right. The question of when I should buy a home is not something that should be taken lightly. You should have all your cards laid out in front of you so you can know how to play your hand. The real estate market can't be predicted because unexpected things are happening all the time. No one thought homes would be flying off the shelves during a global pandemic, but there we were. Just like no one saw 7% interest rates coming after a global pandemic, but here we are. As agents, we can tell you what the market conditions are, we can tell you what the trend looks like, but buying a house is a personal decision that only you can make. The answer is going to vary for everybody, but what does remain is that you need to know where you stand financially, because otherwise you are just taking a shot in the dark. If you found this information helpful, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment letting me know what your pain points are in this current real estate market. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.